What does it do, Zeitz, and question without notice, what does it do for... Because Sydney's always been of that really strong culture. You lose two guys like that who have played a pivotal part over the last few years. Does it do anything for the group itself?
Well, I think when the deal gets done, it seems to be everyone tends to move on. If they get floated and then they don't end up getting traded and then they have to go back, that's when I think ripples start to appear. I'd be interested in your thoughts, all as former players, how this manifests inside the club, because we know, of course, James Robottom was raised. His manager Matt Bain said no, he's not going anywhere. He avoided being put on the table. But Will Hayward obviously going, Ollie Florent, both with contracts. Do you think there's anything there that the Swans, that maybe Dean Cox just needs to keep an eye on in the future? Is there any potential, some grumblings?
Maybe there is some grumblings in the background. I think if Rowbottom had have gone, that would have been
heart and soul Rowbottom.
Yeah, that's it. And I'm not saying that these guys aren't, right. They've given everything that they possibly have. I think Florent needs the opportunity in another club because the coach obviously is going in a different direction with him. And Hayward's the interesting one here. And if he's of agreeance and wants a fresh challenge somewhere else, then there won't be any of that type of grumblings or rumblings in the...
I'm not sure why Will Hayward would be looking for opportunities. It was a staple for the Sydney Swans. How do you find it? I find it a really difficult concept. You can sign guys up for 5 years, 6 years, 1 year, and you're tipping them out 2 years. And I know the Swans are getting a fantastic player. Are we to assume that that's just the way footy is?
Well, I loved your comment that it was overs. So have they gone too hard too early, giving up two good players? It's really the landscape now. That's the way it is. You sign big deals and then you're unhappy, or you want to move, you want to find success. And then is it Sydney's case of, OK, we're just tunnel vision on Charlie. We need Charlie. We'll give up what it takes.
Sometimes you go to an auction, the bank says you got 1.5. Yeah. You put your hand up and it's $2 million, you've got some problems.
Well, when you buy your seventh house like you, you're in problems with that. Don't get over your head, G. Is that what I'll say?
Tell me, how does the player managers cope with this and the conflict of interest when you've got three blokes all being swapped around?
That's one question I couldn't answer. I'm not sure. And Jono, you got Curnow, as we said, Hayward, Florent, all from the same manager.
Same camp.
Yep.
Same camp.
But then you've got also players that are currently in the lineup, like Amadi, McDonald and McLean, sitting there going, OK, well, where do I sit in the pecking order now if we bring a Charlie Curnow in? So, but I don't mind that competition.
What's the pecking order, Jono?
In terms of that?
Yeah. Well, Curnow's one.
Well, I think, yeah, absolutely. I think Amadi and McLean plays the second ruck and can play forward. McDonald may be for a positional move in 2026. We wait and see. Okay.
David Zeta, this is the one I'm interested in, Zach Merrett. So Tom's Petroro sitting right in the middle of this. Hawthorn, I've got to put up something pretty significant to get him across. Where's it at?
Well, he manages Brad Scott, Sam Mitchell and Zach Merrett, so that's also another one. It's a triangle, isn't it? So his phone would be going absolutely mental at the moment. So Hawthorn and Essendon have now engaged directly. Now, of course, it was all, I think a lot of it would have been going through Tom Petroro during that phase that's lasted for just over a week. But I think Zach Merrett's reiterated he wants to be playing for Hawthorn next season. That's where he wants to be, and that's just something they're going to have to try and get done. But the Bombers have played just such a firm hand, especially since Andrew Welsh has come in to power there. So the reports this afternoon is that pick 9, a future first-round pick, and Henry Huswaite. That's the deal that's being put forward to the Bombers at the moment. The Bombers' official position is that nothing has changed from them. They are steadfast that Zach Merrett's a required player. He'll be there next year. I don't know. Your opinion's the one that matters. Is that a deal that gets Essendon to at least think about it? Because it seems like the general consensus is it doesn't.
No, it's not. And Hawthorn need to play their strongest hand immediately. I think to change the opinion of an Andrew Welsh coming in now as president and speaking the way that he has in the strong fashion.
Can he backtrack though?
Well, no, I think he can a little bit. I think we all understand the fact that there may be a deal here that Essendon just go bang off the back of discussions internally with Zach Merrett over the last 24 hours as well, and his manager Tom Petroro. So you look at the Hawks, I think early tomorrow, they need to go bang. This is our very best hand. Are we getting a deal done? Otherwise, I think the Bombers will have Zach Merrett walk back into their footy club.
They can't do it till 2 p.m. tomorrow.
At 2 p.m, you know what I mean? But that needs to be straight up tomorrow as early as they possibly can.
You think they've got one more crack?
I think so. I think they've just got to play they've got to play their best hand now. That's clearly not, and they need to do that.
Does it make a difference now that this week, Monday, he's met with the power brokers, Brad, and said, yeah, I do want to trade. That's different to 2 weeks ago where, you know, I'm looking and the club have come out and said, you're not getting traded. Now their captain has come out and said, I want to be traded.
And it hasn't been an official trade request, so to speak, via the club's channels. It's been via journalists saying that Zach Merrett has reiterated to Brad Scott. He's reiterated to the power brokers. But in those reports as well, it said that Brad Scott said, we understand you want to be traded, but you're contracted, you're staying here.
Just going back to Curnow, is Geelong completely out of the Curnow deal, or has Andrew Mackie, who's just landed Buckley, has he got something up his sleeve for Mackie time?
They've been a bit too quiet, I think.
Yeah,
it's a bit concerning when it's this quiet.
Yeah.
They must have something brewing.
I'll just give you some of his recent form, Andrew Mackie, because he does delay.
You've got a graphic ready.
Oh, don't worry, he's had this ready for 2 days.
Yes, Jerry.
Bailey Smith with 35 seconds of play remaining. Ollie Henry, 55 seconds. He was a bit sloppy on Jonathan Segley. Got that one away early with But the big one back in 2020, Jeremy Cameron, 12.5 seconds of play remaining in Mackie time. He still nailed the deal.
You love this, don't you? It just sets up beautifully, does it? Like, it's 7 p.m. cut-off, so you're saying from 6:50 tomorrow, it's game on for Mac.
So do they get both then? Do we go with a minute left? Do they get Curnow and Marshall into the door?
Well, Marshall is a dead set chance.
Yeah.
Even though I think St Kilda would be crazy to let him go.
Yep.
But they can't. Andrew Mackie, and he is a very good poker player. Even he admitted, speaking openly in his words on the opening day of trade period, that to get both of them in it'd probably be a bit of a stretch, even through their deal-making powers. So I think Rowan Marshall's the one we all think they've still got another crack at him. Yeah. Charlie Curnow would have to come from left field if they were to do something now, because Sydney's offer. I mean, I don't know how, and Geelong aren't willing to put any players up, they've said, because they're contracted, no one wants to leave, we're not sending anyone out. They've got really no bargaining power.
Speaking of ruckman, like, I know the Big O has retired. Is there any chance the Big O could just bob up from somewhere at 30 years of age? I know he's got a crook back.
Pretty banged up, G.
Pretty banged up?
Yeah.
Just wouldn't put him on the list?
Not like a Goldstein who could literally walked out, keep going. Completely banged up.
Okay.
He was jumping through an enormous amount of hoops to get himself out on the park, particularly this season.
Can I just remind you, he played in the grand final 4 weeks ago. So he can't be that banged up.
Yeah, well...
Josh Dunkley played in the grand. His whole body's bandaged. He can barely move.
I understand that, but he's not retiring. I mean,
that's true.
If you had pick 61 left or thereabouts, why wouldn't you just say, listen, we'll just throw a dart at the dartboard and just see how the back pulls up after 6 weeks?
It's a potential conversation over the next 4 to 5 weeks leading into the draft and beyond that. You probably don't even need to worry about that. You could bring him in another way anyway. But ultimately, I think with Curnow, he's not wasting his time going to the Swans. If his management know exactly where it sits from a Geelong point of view. So I think it's more the Swans or nothing.
And a man who's not banged up is Nathan Buckley, who'll be joining us shortly on his way to the Cats as assistant coach. Cashed up? Bucks, you saying cashed up?
He's got a good gig at the Cats.
Oh, right. Oh, Zeets, have a look at his bank balance. Speaking of cashed up, he's going to be $1 million short maybe at the end of this trade period, is Lek Alir. So the Saints completely backflipped, which is a shock to the industry itself. North Melbourne have now said that they're out. So where does that leave him?
Well, it shocked Lek Alir as well. So he's overseas holidaying at the moment, and his whole life's been turned upside down because he thought he had a spot to go to, and now he's just mid-air with no destination. So the good news is this wasn't left poorly with the Giants. That they love him, he loves them. It was a really difficult call for him to go to the St Kilda, even though they were offering him far more money. So there's an offer on the table for Lek to stay at the Giants, return there. Yes, he's going to find it hard to get into the senior side consistently. Nothing has changed there, but he will have an AFL home. If this was if this was a messier parting of ways, there was a chance that he would just not have a home in 2026. So the Giants are a safe haven, I think, at this point.
What would get him? How much? He was reportedly going to receive 750, 800. What gets him?
Well, again,
would he take 500 to go somewhere else?
Well, I don't think he's being... Yeah, I mean, the Giants' offer would be quite modest, I think, considering that they just weren't able to go any higher than they were. So
What's he worth, Jono?
Well, I think he's worth exactly what the Giants are going to pay him, because the competition aren't going to pay any more, and St Kilda were well and truly overs in regards to that. So I think he falls exactly in terms of a pay bracket where he should fall for the next 2 to 3 years, and then beyond that, he's got the time to be able to maybe get that next deal, which would be a St Kilda level type deal. So it's on him now. I think a 3-year deal is perfect. Sign it now. get your development right and see if you can push your way into a potential, finals team.
He's not in the Giants' starting lineup.
But he could be. I think there's enough traits there for him to push his way up quite significantly in that Giants side over the next 12 months.
Bucks has turned up and he's in the car park.